I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Rutgers Scarlet Knights fans, Night Watch listeners and watchers, welcome to another episode of Night Watch. I am your host, Larry K. Sorry for the delayed video here. I was actually at the game. Made the trip via a very delayed and standing room only New Jersey Transit train to Manhattan. Stopped at the Bourbon Bar across the street, had a drink, met a buddy, went with a crew of people who were alums of Rutgers Law School, people who knew college ball, wanted Rutgers to win, and then went to Penn 6. You know, if there's ever a chance to go to the NYC alumni Penn 6 watch party, I recommend it. It's a great time. They do a good job. Got back on a train and got back to Newark and sat down to talk to you guys about Rutgers' latest loss in such a disappointing season. And if there was any illustration, any microcosm of how much of a disappointment and missed opportunity this season was, I really think today was a great example. And I say that because you go into New York and you can see the thumbnail for this video. I mean, there's RU Rah Rah right there on 7th. And there's red and scarlet everywhere, coming all over the train station, on every train, every bar around Madison Square Garden. You get into the game, it's a sea of red. They are loud. It is a source of pride. There are so many people who maybe don't get out to every game down in Piscataway, New Brunswick area, but live in the city or live in North Jersey or made the trip from other parts of Jersey in the tri-state area to come out and rep the team. It really is a home game. Although, you know, at some point, Izzo's got to come to Jersey Mike's. I mean, should rotate. That should be a game every year, but you know, Michigan State has had a little too much of it, in my opinion. But you know, there's so much. This could have been, if Rutgers was in the running for a spot in the tournament, and they were playing up to their potential and up to par. This could have been win or lose if you took a game down to the wire and really made it a contest down the stretch, and it meant something. This could have really been a key moment and an awesome, memorable moment in a memorable, meaningful season. And so to go there and go through the day and have fun and kind of be an ambassador for Rutgers and be connecting with alumni and other people, and to lose the way we did, where at the end, yeah, I know there's some threes going down. We're playing foul games and hoping we stay in it, but there was no real chance. To go out like that and to also kind of embrace the fact that the season is, you know, where it is a real disappointment. Before we even got to the game, we got news that Agbole is done for the year. Not like he was playing maximum minutes or that he was necessarily somebody who was one of the main 5 guys down the stretch this year so far, but he was somebody who could bang down low a little bit, and having a presence to put in there when we need him, if we need him, was meaningful sometimes, and he's out for the year. Dylan Harper, I thought last game, you know, we really started to tumble once he twisted his ankle against Penn State, and he barely gave it a go today. Props to him for trying to give it a go, but comes away with 6 points, no rebounds, no assists, a few minutes of play, and it's so disappointing that this young man with the family legacy, waiting all these years to get to Rutgers, waiting all these years to go down in the Rutgers history books, waiting all these years for the memories, you know, and now he gets the flu, and then he twists his ankle, and, you know, it's just got to be difficult for him sitting on the sideline there as this season slips away. And it's just such a, you know, you only live once, and history only happens once, and he's only going to be in college once. And so the fact that it's not going anywhere near how anybody thought it would has got to be disappointing. I know it is for the fans. A buddy of mine was joking when we were leaving, like, hey, he's going to the NBA anyway, whether he goes next year or this year. What if he just decided to shock the world and stay and do unfinished business? It really is a shame. I've said it earlier. I said it again. it's a shame this one and done thing that even happens. I mean, these guys barely get adjusted to the speed of the game. I don't care how good they are. And by the time they understand what's going on in conference, especially, I mean, it's all over and they're gone. I mean, it's, what's in it for the college fans and the college teams at this point. But early, I think in the first half, we made a game of it. I thought the defensive intensity was high. I thought, the way Pike was rotating earlier in the game and the way we were playing D and finding shots was more effective, and we were able to stay in it a little bit. The second half, it really got away from us, I think around the 9-minute mark with 9 minutes left in the second half. Rutgers is hanging a steady 5 to 6 to 4 points behind, and what we really needed was a stop, a rebound, and some points, and we just couldn't get over the hump. And eventually Michigan State capitalized on a few turnovers and I thought a really few bad shots from us. And they converted on the other end, got way ahead by double digits, and I think it was pretty much done from there. Ace Bailey, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 18 points. Ace did what he could. He, again, was banging down low as best he could, but even some of the shots he tried to put up, he couldn't get to fall. The 9 rebounds is nice. The 18 points is obviously significant, but there were some shots there that I thought Ace just felt he had the force, some shots that weren't the best, and I don't think it wound up too good for him in the long run, although his, again, second leading scorer with 18 is nothing to sneeze at. But I don't think it seemed as easy and as downhill for Ace as it has in previous games when the team was really clicking. Dylan Grant, again, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Jordan Durkak, the team's leading scorer with 26 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Props to Jordan. I've always liked Jordan's hustle. I've always liked Jordan's, charisma in there and his relentless energy and resiliency. And he got a bunch of points and he played a good game in some spots, but other spots he was once again dribbling down low, dribbling towards the rim, getting himself triple teamed, double teamed into trouble and sometimes struggling. And the same goes for Jemiah Williams. Several shots were just really not good shots. Several shots that could have been good shots because he was in decent position close to the rim just weren't. Air balls and other miscues from him. He finished with 4 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Zach Martini, another goose egg we thought maybe we were going to see, and I said it. You can quote me. You have the soundbite. If Zach Martini can get going and at least show that he can do something from beyond the arc in any game, whether it's 1-3, 2 threes, whatever it is, you're going to make teams account for him, and you're going to make them have to deal with that factor, and he's going to be a factor. And this was another game where, it looks like we spoke too soon. He's back to missing a bunch. He had plenty of opportunities to sink a 3, especially in spots where we could have cut Michigan State's lead, and he was just unable to convert. He kept getting opportunities. He had open looks. He just couldn't get it done, and that's frustrating. Tyson Acuff trying to make things happen again, couldn't really make things happen at the end of the day. JaMychal Davis, similar story. This is the team that we know they can get to when they're not playing great in that second half, when they're forcing things. They don't really know who is going to make an impact, who's going to get them over the hump, and there's a lot of ill-advised stuff going on. And I thought when they got themselves into trouble right in that stretch in the second half, that was pivotal. And they started just tossing up bad shots and not getting rebounds. Michigan State was able to come down and do what they had to do. And it was disappointing to see, especially with the crowd support in there. Michigan State, every time they tried to get their cheer going, we would boo them out up until the end where they stole the show. And when it comes to rebounds, Rutgers had 17 offensive rebounds. Michigan State only had 14. When it comes to defensive rebounds, though, 34 for Michigan State and only 19 for Rutgers. They out-rebounded us 48-36. Again, it's been the ongoing theme this year. I'm sure it's an ongoing theme in most teams that win or lose, the rebound margin, but when we are not playing well on the rebound on the boards, we are not succeeding in winning or making games tough. And if you look at, offensive rebounds, Michigan State only had 14, but if you look at the assists, They had 19 to our 9. They were moving the ball better. They were finding guys. A lot of times we tried to fight through a screen or got baited on something only to leave somebody wide open beyond the arc, leave somebody wide open down low. It's the same story. They know what they're doing. They know how to execute offensively, and they know how to do it pretty efficiently. They shot 48.2 from the field. Rutgers, an abysmal 33.8 from the field. Three-pointers, we hit 9 3-pointers, and we shot 30% from 3, which isn't the worst thing ever per se. Michigan State only shoots 26% from 3. But here's the big difference. Rutgers tosses up 30 3-pointers. Michigan State only took 19 3-pointers. And so when you're resorting to chucking up threes and you're not making them, it's a good sign that you don't know what you're doing to move the ball efficiently and find the open shot and the right shot and a good shot. It's also another indication that you're falling behind, and out of desperation, you're heaving things up. And I saw too much of that out there today. So assist 19 to 9 just shows the huge gap in offensive efficiency. 8 blocks for Michigan State, only 2 for Rutgers. Again, just, the defensive issues, the issues down low continue to rear their head. We actually had 10 steals to Michigan State's 2. They had 15. This is where it gets just so, you look, the offensive efficiency comes into play so blatantly. When you have 5 turnovers to Michigan State's 15, you have 10 steals to their 2, and you lose the game 81-74, and you look at the assist numbers, and you look at the percentages, you see you've had a ton of chances. You've stolen the ball away from Michigan. You've stopped their chances to some significant extent, and you've created your own chances to a significant extent. Yet, due to an absolute lack of offensive efficiency, you are unable to convert and to make it a game. And it was a game for large stretches of the game. It was a game up until really the 9-minute mark left in the second half. So it's not like it wasn't a game at any point. But the game wasn't in doubt down the stretch. And Michigan State hunkered down and did what they had to do. And if you look at the defensive rebounding numbers, that matters too. 34-19. What that says is that we didn't have many second chance points. We didn't have many opportunities. Once we had a bad shot, they were able to pull it down. And they were able to be efficient on the other side of the ball. And that cost us. Hayes was in there a decent extent towards the end of the game. I thought, when I saw him in there after sitting for a stretch, I understand, A, Harper's out. B, there's more minutes to go around. No Ogbole, no Harper. I know they don't play the same positions, but still. I also thought, hey, what the hell? You're now falling behind. You need a shooter. If there's any chance of you coming back, you're going to need to sink some threes. So put Hayes in there. But he was a non-factor once again. 1 rebound, 1 assist. He tried his best on the defensive side of the ball. I didn't see him in any instance be this long stretched liability, but he wasn't good on the defensive side of the ball nonetheless. And he wasn't doing anything on the offensive side of the ball. So just all around tough. I thought Somerville had some decent looks. I thought other times he was shut down there, finished with 6 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. There's just really nowhere else to go. Jordan Durkak emerges, and again, good for him putting up those numbers. But when you're leaning on him as your leading guy, you're struggling. Something else is wrong on the team, and it's just the same story. You got an injured Dylan Harper. You got Ace doing everything he can, but if he's not within the flow the way you want him to be, and he's trying to put everything on his back, he's not going to have the most efficient game per se. You have Jeremiah Williams not doing great things. You have, Jermichael Davis not great on either side. I don't know, once the first half was over, I don't know how much I loved the rotations in the second half, but I don't know that Pike knew where to go. You put Martini in, you think maybe you're going to get some effort rebounding. He misses some threes. He's a non-factor. He doesn't pull down the rebound in a pivotal stretch there where you needed him to be tougher under the boards. And, where do you even go at that point? And where does Rutgers go? Look, Michigan State's a good team, and losing to Michigan State is not the end of the world if your season is otherwise going as you'd like it to. But in a season like this, where it's MSG, it's a hostile environment for Michigan State, the guys are juiced to play, you have an opportunity once again, and that's what the discussion has been for a while with this team, right? The discussion has been, yeah, they lost to Kennesaw. Sure, they lost to Princeton, but there's so much opportunity. There's so many opportunities for them to right the ship. But, I said this all the way back when they lost in Vegas to A&M and they lost to Alabama, and people are sitting there saying, oh, but it's so fun, but it's great. We're going to be playing our best ball. And I was saying, you got to drive home some of these opportunities. Eventually, you got to start actually winning these opportunities and not just marveling at the fact that you've had opportunities and are going to have opportunities, because eventually you're all out of opportunity. And Rutgers is really rapidly reaching that point. And this is another missed opportunity. Probably the more devastating one maybe was the last game, where you really could have beat a mediocre Penn State team on the road, which wasn't the worst road environment. But this is now a good team that you still have a chance to come away with a win, a signature one, and you just can't do it. And so it's a story of the season. It's got to be hard on the guys. It's got to be hard on everybody, around the program. And it's definitely hard on the fans. So many people expected so much from this season, and I don't think it's fair if somebody, wanted a Final Four appearance or bust and is now complaining, or, but by the same token, I don't think it's fair to act as if those who expected, some kind of run, or at least at bare minimum a shoo-in for the tournament, I don't think it's fair to act like their expectations were too astronomical and that they were, disingenuous in what they expected from this team. It was well within reason, with the talent we have on this team, to expect more. And it's a huge disappointment, whether it was recruiting who you brought in, whether it was not having a plan for the guys you brought in, whether it was how you used them on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, what the combinations were. Again, Dylan Grant not playing up until now, maybe not getting enough run today. I don't know what was going on down there. But then just the bad luck. Dylan Harper's illness, Dylan Harper's injury, that's just bad luck. But no matter how you slice it, where you put it, it's just a disappointing season for Rutgers. It could have been so much better. And it's just, again, being out there in New York, just seeing such a missed opportunity is so frustrating. And I'm about ready. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I'm about ready to say, okay, who's coming, who's going, in the transfer portal, who's staying, who's leaving, who we bringing in, turn the page already, because this discombobulation of a team where we have talent and absolutely no idea how to use them or where to fit them is I'm over it. It happened last year, not the talent, but discombobulation. It's happening this year. I'm anxious. I don't care if Pike has to go after just strictly lunch pail 3-star guys. And that's not a knock on, Harper or Ace. It's not their fault necessarily that this is going on. But I don't care what he's got to do. I don't care if he's got to go after strictly defensive lunch pail guys. And whatever he needs, if he's going to be here, which by all accounts he is, whatever he needs to make this fun again, do it. Because I'd rather see another decade of close calls to the Sweet 16 with teams that played as teams, with cohesion, with a coach who knew how to use the players on the roster and a roster who knew how to respond to the coach, and never make it farther than that, then have seasons like the last two where we have all this supposed firepower, supposed talent, supposed speed, but we don't even sniff the tournament. And we don't even look like we're playing ball out there as a team in any way, shape, or form, because it's not fun. And so being out there, great time to get out there, to enjoy ourselves, whatever. But such a microcosm, so illustrative of the missed opportunity and what could have been. And it's really driven me, at this point to say, hey, I can't wait to turn the page, because this has been a disaster any way you slice it. And being a Rutgers fan right now is tough for that reason. Now, we have some good news out of football, and I still need to sit down and talk to you guys about that soon. And it's interesting how that culture is kind of humming in a way. And I understand they're two different sports. And look, football is not above reproach. Football had a disappointing season, in my opinion. They could have and should have won more games, could have and should have gone out better. And there were issues there also from the coaching staff. But the culture there, they know who they want. They know how they fit in. They know how to support them with supporting cast members. They know how to coach them with the staff. And they know how to retain the guys they need and they want to keep. They know who to bring in for the most part. They're going to strike out sometimes. And it's a different thing. Now, I know it's a different sport. Basketball, almost every roster is changing out every year. But if you look around the Big Ten, there's other teams that added a guy or two and still have a culture and guys that they're developing in the program. And you can't ever say that Pike or somebody should say no to Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, but you knew for 2 years you were getting them, and it just still seems like the plan as far as a supporting cast, how to use a supporting cast, and what type of team you're going to be wasn't there and wasn't good enough. And at this point, we're kind of left holding the bag, looking around like, what the hell was that? 2 years of anticipation and talking and hype and scheduling and all that for this. What is this? I mean, this could have easily been Pike's second or third year without the hope of developing the guys, because they're going to be gone. Now, part of that's the nature of college basketball at this point, and maybe some guys are more cut out for that than others. And I don't like this current style of college ball. I know some people out there are going to get mad. Oh, let the kids live. Whatever, bro. Let the kids get paid, all that. Let everybody eat. But in a system where it's a new roster every year, especially on basketball, the basketball side of things, it's a new roster every year. Guys are just at Rutgers for a hot minute. They're not getting degrees or anything like that. And then they're in and then they're out. I don't particularly like it. But if we're going to have to be in this space, at least field a competitive team. And even though I don't love it, and I empathize with a guy like Pike, and I empathize with the architects of this program who can't build it the way they wanted to anymore, get me somebody who knows how to function in this day and age, or help Pike and give Pike what he needs, or Pike needs to then say, I'm bucking the trend, I'm going to build the team how I want to build it, the way Shiano is kind of doing it, saying, hey, I'm going to spend my money on retention, I'm going out and getting the guys I want, and that culture will take care of itself. Do that. But this one year putting throwing a team together and not having much of a plan for them, it's not working for this program. And you have two of the most talented guys in all of college basketball in the country as basketball players, period, on this team, and you can't even sniff the tournament. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Plain and simple, and it's a huge missed opportunity to really bring a lot of positive attention and hype and fanfare to the school, to the program. And look, it's sports. Things happen. Bad luck happens. Bad breaks happen. This isn't some huge indictment on these people as leaders, as people, as program builders. Whatever. It just sucks. And I think it's an opportunity, if Pike's going to be here, it's an opportunity for him to reassess what he's trying to do here and how he can function, how he can best function in today's environment. And it's an opportunity for players to do the same, kind of reflect on why you're coming here, what are you going to accomplish, and what's going to be around you. So it's not something that I'm going to go on a tirade about as if people failed us. I mean, there's more serious things going on in the world, quite frankly. But I think as a somebody who talks sports here with you, Rutgers Sports, this is an opportunity to figure out what the heck are we doing and where are we going next. And that's why I'm kind of excited to see where we're going next. But we still got a season. Night Watch still has to talk to you guys about Rutgers sports. We got Northwestern on Wednesday on the road. We'll be watching. We'll be talking. Michigan visits us next Saturday. I'll be out of town, so another game I'll miss. I really didn't use my tickets much this year. back home for Illinois on the 5th. Maybe I'll be at that game. And the season marches on. Let's see if we can get a spot in the Big Ten tournament and make a miracle happen. You never know. Miracles have happened before. If not, let's see if we can do something in the NIT and enjoy something, have some memory here. And it's not over till it's over, and it's not over yet, but just another loss, 2 in a row. Rutgers looking back to its bleak existence before Nebraska. And we've just got to ride this. I can't even say ride the wave because there's no wave. It's one of these days where you're out there on the board and everything's just a ripple. There's no waves anyway. You kind of just lounge. You're kind of just chilling. You're out there fishing. There's nothing biting. There's nothing going on. I mean, we're just kind of here. But I hope everybody enjoyed the trip to New York. Those who went, was a nice event in many ways. Fun to play at MSG. Fun to get out to the city. So hopefully everybody had fun. Hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. Hopefully everybody who's a fan of the NFL watches the games tomorrow. We're going to figure out who's in the Super Bowl. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Get home safe. And Larry K will talk to you guys very soon. Remember, subscribe to Night Watch. If you haven't done so on your way out, click that subscribe button. It's right here. It takes a second. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Just click it. If you are on the audio realm, available on every major podcast platform, come visit YouTube and click subscribe. If you're on YouTube, remember you can find this podcast on every major platform and listen on your way to work, while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're chilling, whatever it is you do. Larry K is out. I'll talk to you guys soon.